As more neighborhoods integrate urban gardens into their community, the question of food safety inevitably arises. While small-scale vegetable production is exempt from the regulations in the Food Safety Modernization Act, it is important to take proactive measures to ensure that fresh fruits and vegetables produced on a small farm and in urban gardens are safe and free from pathogens. Organizers may not consider food safety as a top priority when planning an urban garden. There are actually a number of food safety procedures that must be addressed. The goal of this video is to provide suggestions based on the exciting research that can further promote microbiological safety of fresh produce grown on small farms and in urban plots. Even though it may come as a surprise to many small farmers and gardeners, fruits and vegetables may become contaminated with human pathogens such as Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria, and viruses at any point during the production cycle. Like any crop sold at a grocery store, a vegetable, fruit, or nut harvested from an urban garden or small farm comes with the risk of potential contamination. Wildlife or even domestic pets could wander through the area and leave contaminated droppings on or near the food. Once deposited in the soil, most human pathogens can persist in the soil for at least several weeks. It is important to limit potential sources of human pathogens in the area of production. It is also important to properly manage activities and amendments that potentially carry high risk. Human pathogens could be found in compost manure, garbage, and/or animal waste. Therefore, when laying out your vegetable plots, make sure to physically separate compost piles from the vegetable plot. It is unacceptable to have a compost pile immediately adjacent to the production area. A physical barrier or even a strip of grass would help prevent pathogens containing runoff from a compost pile to reaching the vegetable plot. Limiting wildlife intrusions is another important consideration when designing a layout for your vegetable plots. As much as reasonably possible, vegetable plots should be kept away from areas frequented by the wild or domestic animals. Consider building a fence around your vegetable plot. It will keep away any animals that want to feast on your harvest and will prevent them from leaving their droppings. Irrigation is another potential source of crop contamination. As potable water becomes more scarce, many gardeners experiment with various sources of irrigation. Whether using surface water, such as water from river or ponds, harvested rainwater, or essentially distributed water, it is important to ensure that it meets microbiological safety criteria. There are many commercial labs in the area that will conduct these microbiological water tests for anywhere from $10 to $20.
Testing the quality of irrigation water is very important, especially if the water that's used for irrigation is untreated surface water. Typically, samples will be plated on a medium that contains a pH indicator, which makes the medium red. If you find colonies that don't have any color, most likely these are harmless environmental bacteria. However, if you identify bright yellow colonies that also turn the medium yellow, this indicates that the sample most likely contains fecal coliforms. According to the new regulations, there shouldn't be any more than 235 colonies of fecal coliforms in 100 milliliter water samples, or no more than 126 colonies in 5 consecutive samples of 100 milliliters.
If using surface water or harvested rainwater, irrigate at the roots. Avoid splashing the water onto the above-ground plant parts. This will also reduce the spread of plant disease like mildew, leaf spot, and/or rots. While there is flexibility with the sources of water that can be used for irrigation, once the crops are harvested, they must only be washed with potable water.